Hey everyone, it's Joe here with another product review, and today we're going to be reviewing Key to 10K by Desmond Ong. And Desmond has always put out great products, and actually I think one of my first product reviews that I started doing on YouTube was actually, oh god, I forgot the name of it, 220 minutes, which a lot of people kind of hated the name because it's like, well, that's impossible, 220 minutes. And it's essentially, well, Desmond could do that. And it wasn't too far off because essentially the whole point of that program was is if you had the email list big enough, you could essentially do that. And so Key to 10K is kind of the same way. So it's kind of the don't let the name detract you, because essentially he's saying that over time you could essentially make, with a list big enough, $10,000 every time you send out an email, or however it works. But actually this system's is totally different from Key to 10K. To kind of go over it, it actually is kind of a mix of two different things. It's not product creation and it's not list building. It's kind of a combination of the two. Without getting too much in detail, because I don't want, like I said, like I always like to use, I don't want to reveal the wizard secrets. Basically what you do is you get your buyer's leads, and then once you have your buyer's leads, into your lists or what have you, you essentially get them a way to you use that list to kind of upsell them to higher price point items that you can offer. So that's kind of how the program kind of works. But Desmond does an awesome, amazing job of breaking it down very simply. So to kind of go into it, so the first, there's several videos that are into it. So the first one he has is kind of a motivational video, and now his style is he's very one of those kind of like in your face motivational types. Like if you're not doing it this way, it's your fault. He's kind of one of those, and for some people that is usually not their style. They don't like it that way. They kind of like, they're kind of standoff. They might be kind of put off by that. So just be prepared that that's his style. So if you're not that style of motivation, just be prepared that Desmond kind of is that. He's one of those people saying, hey, I'm doing it this way. I'm teaching you to do it this way. So if you're not doing it this way, what's the problem? He's going to say it's you. Plain and simple. He's just gonna call a spade a spade. So that's kind of the first video. So if you want to skip that, and then you can if you want. The second video kind of goes over the system of how it works. Just the overview of how his system works. Like I said, the combination of kind of the list building / product generation, product creation thing works, for lack of better terms. Like I said, it's kind of a blend of the two. So that's the second video. The third video is kind of about the product creating itself. I won't go into much in depth, but he talks about different ways you can create different products. You don't necessarily, he goes over different mediums. You obviously can create ebooks, you can create videos, you can create whatever you want. So you can do different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be an ebook. It could be a video. It can be audio. It can be whatever you want. And he goes over different ways to do it. Different misconceptions people have. And he talks about that his students, because he actually has quite a few students that he personally coaches, and people pay quite a bit of money to be a student that use the same things, and his students do pretty freaking well. So he's on to something. The fourth video is about traffic, about how you generate traffic through various methods. Really, he goes over one specific method in general, which is different because I've never really heard of it this way. Pretty interesting, pretty different twist. So that video is just entirely different. So definitely you'll find the traffic formula that he calls it very interesting. The next video after that is called The Magic Bullet, which essentially is about copywriting. And he mentions that kind of copywriting is not a science, it's an art. And really, copywriting is an art. It is not something you're going to get overnight. It's going to be something that takes a lot of practice. So, it's best to kind of watch that and just kind of practice and, kind of go from there. So just kind of keep in mind with the copywriting video, just to take a look at that. If you kind of struggle with that, I don't think you can ever have too much copywriting, too much in course of copywriting. You can always learn a thing or two. The next video after that is what's called tying everything together, which essentially is taking your creation product and all of that and kind of creating like your sales funnels and all of that stuff. And he goes over different things with that. And then the last video is what he calls the 10K formula. And essentially it's basically, I think is probably really the most important video out of all of them. And it talks about how you treat your people on your list. And it's kind of the philosophy I've always had is you don't treat your buyers or your people on your list as wallets, that you just want to open up and pick money out of. You treat your buyers or your people that are on your list with respect. You treat them as, friends, you treat them as whatever. And he goes over that quite well. And, basically saying if you treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect and they'll listen to you, they'll trust you. And that's kind of what he goes over with that. And I think that's probably the most important video. And he goes over a lot of other different things with that. But I think that's probably the most important thing. There's also a couple of other bonuses in there. As well. It also includes his book, which to be honest with you, I won't lie, I have not read it. It's called Against All Odds. And I do know some snippets of it. I've kind of glanced at it. I know some snippets of it where he talked about how he waited tables to save up the money to, buy solo ads and, stuff like that to get where he's at. And the dude, if you follow him on Instagram or anything like that, dude he's made his life. He's traveling around the world. He's living it up. So obviously Desmond Ong knows what he's talking about. So overall, is the product good? Yes, I think the product is excellent. I definitely picked up a thing or two. I think the model of just kind of how he's done it, something I never really thought about before. The more I'm getting into internet marketing, I've always thought about list building, and I've thought about, video promotion. I've thought more about promoting affiliate products, but the more I get into it, I'm thinking about promoting my own products, and this is kind of one way to do it, which I think is very important. I think eventually, when you're in internet marketing, starting your own product is definitely one way to go. Because if people were willing to buy products from you, they obviously trust you. And if you build that trust, you build that authority, people will start to buy from you as long as you build a quality product that yields people results. It builds results for you, obviously. So I think this is definitely great for not only if you're thinking about creating a product or you're thinking about list building or you're doing both and you want to maybe add some twists here and there. It's important for all of that. But it also has other components like copywriting and how to treat the people on your list and all sorts of other stuff. So I think it's a very important product. To think of a con, I really can't think of much, to be honest with you. There's really not much to it. I guess if I was to think of a con, maybe I didn't have to do it, and maybe I could have just filled in something. But it does require you, when you first purchase the product, you have to fill out information and that I didn't want to fill out, like telephone number and stuff like that. But I have a junk phone number that I put in, so there's that. I guess that's one thing, but maybe I didn't have to do that and I just did it anyways. But don't let that hinder you. It's definitely a product that's worth getting if you're kind of list building or you're thinking about creating a product and you're not sure what to do or whatever. Definitely worth a look. So if you've been thinking about getting Key to 10K by Desmond Ong, definitely worth buying. Highly recommend it. I think it's a good start. If you're list building or you're product creating or you want to combine the two, you can't go wrong. So anyways, if you want to get a copy, check out the link at the bottom. Go ahead and click it, and you'll take you to the link. It'll take you to the page, the information page. You can learn more about it, and then you can go ahead and make your purchase. Okay? Simple as that. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.